Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 12, Week 3, Day 7. So today, final day of the Vault grind, we're going to be heading towards 5,000 keys. How close we're going to get, who knows. But we're currently at 4,734, and we're trying to push closer. Unfortunately, we don't have that many keys to end up opening, or, Palooza, so we are going to have to farm most of them to be able to end up getting there, but hey, at least we'll get a bunch of hero XP along the way. But anyways, let's start off by going over all of the weekly spoilers, and let's start over with the troop. So we're getting a Naga in a location that isn't Mr. Scales, which is always interesting to see, as Mr. Scales is the primary location of all Nagas, or at least a good majority of all Nagas. It is a 12 mana cost brown-red. It ends up creating a bunch of skulls and red gems, which is relevant to some degree in that it feeds back into itself. Aside from that, the only other good thing it has, I guess, Enrage whenever something dies, and some score reduction. Overall, it's not good, it's not bad. I can see it being used in Arena, if nothing else. However, outside of Arena, there's just better options that can create skulls red. Most notably, I was gonna say Divine Shpala, but she creates yellow and skull. Actually, isn't there a double converter that creates red and skull? Why can I not think of which one it is off the top of my head? But whatever that double converter is would be way better than him. I think I know who it is. Isn't it? No, it wasn't Sakima. Wait, who's the one that does... who? Yeah, wasn't it Sakima? Why can I not remember who does, Hold up. That's gonna bother me now. Who's the red to skull converter? Isn't it Sakima? Blue to skull, brown to yellow. No, who was the skull to red? Because that one's also brown to yellow. Inferno King? Might have been Inferno King. I know there's someone in here. Brown to red. There he is. Yeah, Inferno King. Convert green to skull and brown to red while doing some scatter damage. Like, it's basically just a weaker version of Inferno King. And Inferno King's already not used much in the current meta. So it's basically just a weaker version of that in most situations. Though it would still be a good pick in Arena if nothing else. But I don't really foresee it being used. Pure Naga teams wouldn't necessarily want it on it, as Marilith would be good enough for mana accumulation. And overall, just isn't really going to see much usage. Doesn't have a mana link, doesn't really have anything to go with its synergy, or for mana accumulation. As far as the event, it looks like just don't take a Lamia. And that is all you really have to do. Let's see. As battles get harder, they will increase the amount of scrolls. Okay, so yeah, it'd still just be rarity order then. Unless they appear so little that taking these lower ones would actually be worth it. Which is to be determined. I'm actually not sure if you, like, super meta out the math on it, if that would technically over time become better. It depends on the frequency of, like, how much those show up. But I'm pretty sure just rarity order and ignore Lamia. I am pretty sure. But do keep in mind whenever you're taking the same fight that you get more points for. So for example, between Basilisk and Chief Dagon, if you're seeing more than one or the other, then make sure to take that one. However, I'm pretty sure it's going to ultimately come out to not taking Lamia. The only thing I'm not certain on is how common these two will show up. And if it is very low, you could theoretically get more points out of Lamia, but I highly doubt that. It's probably just rarity order and don't take Lamia. I am pretty sure. But we won't really know until we see people, like, starting to, like, actually doing it. But I'm pretty sure just ignore Lamia. Anyways, as far as things that we have going on next week, first off, we have, actually, where even is the start of this? So, we do have Guild Wars. Guild Wars is relevant as this is the last Guild Wars of the year. So you can end up doing the EXP grind if you want to reach a certain milestone. Speaking of which, congrats, Scout, on getting level 2,000. Nice. But have any of you guys still have any level milestones to reach? This is the very last Guild War of the year, from December 5th to December 11th. And Guild War has an interesting mechanic where if you win the previous Guild War day, you get 100% extra EXP the following day. Not to be confused with 2 times EXP. It adds plus 100% to whatever your total is. So if you currently have 150%, it'll become 250%, not 300%. It simply adds another 100% on all the bonuses you currently have. Regardless, it's still a pretty substantial bonus, anywhere from about 33 to 40% for most people. So it's still a pretty substantial increase to the amount of EXP you'd be getting. So if you're still looking to do that, you'll have potentially up to 6 days next week where you can power farm for that, assuming your guild wins every or most of the Guild War days. So we have that going on. Faction event, of course, is associated to the Kingdom, so it's going to be Fang Moor. Wednesday, we're going to be getting a pet rescue for Shrinks, which I believe is one that already exists. Yeah, that's that one that just Kedar bonus. Nothing special. It's been out for quite some time. Thursday, we have the class event for the Kedar class, which is Necromancer. Necromancer, honestly, not that bad. I feel like most people don't use it because it's outclassed by other classes. However, it does give you a bunch of passive souls. It has 50% mana star. It has a little bit of link color going into it. It's not a horrible hero class. It would be decent if every other hero class wasn't so broken. But yeah, it's a above average hero class. It just, there's other things that do what it does better. Most notably Archmagus. Archmagus is basically just better Necromancer in almost every possible situation, which is one of the things that unfortunately makes Necromancer not really used much. Unless you're just looking for like a few passive souls while using something slightly weaker. It normally just comes out to be quicker and even more souls potentially, just using Archmagus due to its higher amount of speed, due to its +3 purple, rather than Necromancer's +1 purple. Anyways, as far as the weekend event, we're going to be having a raid, specifically for Cinemirage, so it'll be Cinemirage restriction, meaning you can use any Cinemirage troops for the event. And that's pretty much the whole week. We're not really getting anything new. The only thing new is the troop we just went over, so a pretty tame week. We do have Guild Wars going on, though, so if nothing else, good EXP grinding week, as you won't really have to spend much time doing other events, as raids as a guild probably takes, like, what, but maybe an hour, not even, as far as how much you have to contribute to get it done, maybe even half an hour, somewhere's around there. But anyways, yeah, pretty tame week. So, let's go do some grinding. We got a lot of grind to still do. How much we're going to be doing tonight, I have no clue, but we'll see how it goes and go from there. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to go do Dust Devil grind. I was about to start doing Explore 12 grind. That's not the grind I'm looking for. But anyways. Oh yeah, I do need to go use the other team because I have not done my daily thingy yet. I did the other day, however, I did not have time today. Actually, today, I did so much reorganization in this room, as well as set up so much technology. My entire day. Not all of it, though. But a good portion of it has been like a complete overhaul of my entire room. And it still needs some cleaning. End up putting a new TV in there, a new dresser, a few other things here and there, putting a bunch of storage away, going through a bunch of junk all around. It's definitely gotten a lot neater, though still needs some work. After 3 more shinies today, you're up to over a whole shiny box? Really? That's insane. Though, I did get a little bit, like, way earlier this morning. I think I'm up to, like, what, maybe 10? Hey, that's the verse I actually need. But anyways, hello everyone. Let me go start from the top. Hello, Bill. Hello, Jonian. Hello, Emernator. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Bill. Hello, Dwight. Let's see. Your 100th useless power orb. I know, they need to do something with power orbs. It's so weird. Like, I still don't understand that to this day. Like, around 2 years ago, 2 Decembers ago, I believe it was, they added a 1% chance to be able to get a power orb for major orbs. And it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So they're going to add, like, a new mythic that requires it every year, right? And then 2 years later, they still have not done a single thing. Power orbs, since they've had a chance of dropping in major orbs, have not gotten a single additional purpose in that entire duration. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Let's see. Also, hello, Isabel. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Hello, Clip Bomb. Hello, Scout. Hello, who did I say hello to? Hello, Emernator. Hello, Henry. Hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, you know what we should go ask? How many Volkies have you guys gotten for this weekend? Because some people were talking about it earlier. Let's start not a Q&A, start a poll. So, how many Vault keys did you get this weekend? Actually, one other thing I should go ask, though I can't ask both simultaneously, is did you meet your Vault key goal this weekend? Though that could have some really wide answers, because someone's goal could be, I wanted to get 0, and I have successfully done so. Whereas other goals could be like, I tried to go for 1,000, but didn't get it. Let's see. How many Vault keys did you get this weekend? 0 to 50, which is basically he's used 1 or 0 Paloozas, or technically 2 Paloozas, I guess. Let's see. 51 to 200. Let's do like a 201 to... I feel like this is too big of a range. 499. And then like the 500 plus section. We're definitely in the 201 to 499. I'm not sure if I made that range too big. Because it's already a common area, plus it's a large area. So 500 plus is also a very large area. Because I know some people, they won't stop a Vault event until they hit at least 500. And some people, of course, aim for 1,000. Some people even aim for over 1,000. Oh, daily has gems in it? We'll definitely need to touch it. Actually, let's go take out all the dailies after we finish these crowns real quick. You got 1,000 plus? Nice. Congrats, Will. Very, very nice. Over 9,000! Could you imagine? I think it is physically impossible to do over 9,000, though. I think the realistic heist you can do while still having, like, any amount of sleep is, like, 3,000. And that's assuming you preemptively got all the paloozas and did it, like, almost every possible second across a 3-day weekend. I'm pretty sure 3,000 is, like, the absolute limit. Even 2,000 is close to the absolute limit, though. I'm pretty sure there's people that have done way over it. Will I reach level 1,800 this year? I'm not sure. We'll definitely try to EXP grind a bit next week when we have the bonus off of Guild War, because that'd be the best time to do so. Who knows, maybe we'll even do a very long stream one of the days. Start like midday. And just do like only EXP grinding and see how far we can get. Because we're going to have a whole extra 100% EXP bonus, and if there's any time to do the final push for a certain level, it is next week when we have the super bonus. So we'll see. It's still doable. I need, what, 26 levels? Which might sound like a far ways away. But if we have the 100% EXP bonus during Guild War, basically every, I want to say 3 hours that we grind is one extra free hour that we grind. Is about what it comes out to, approximately. Where every 3 hours is basically 4 hours of grinding from an EXP perspective. Which means if we did it for like 21 hours across the entire week, while on days that we had the 100% EXP bonus, that would be a total of, what, 7 additional hours of EXP grind without actually having to do it. You see a dislike on 1231 coming? We won't even be streaming on 1231. There'll probably not even be a single video up on that day. Because I'll be away by then. I still don't know the exact date yet, by the way. It's something I should have situated in the next few days. But, yeah, I don't know the official date yet. But I will be gone during that day, because I'll be seeing family for New Year's. So I know I'll be there before that date. It's sometime between, like, the 26th to 30th. It will be the day I'm gone. And then probably gone for about a week or so. Depends how the flights run. Because I generally just go for the cheapest flights. Because I don't need to necessarily be there on any exact specific day, nor leave on any exact specific day. So I tend to get there on like a weird day, like right before New Year's, and then leave on like multiple days after New Year's when it's a lot cheaper, because everyone who left like right after New Year's makes the prices go up like crazy on those days. So I normally center it like exactly where the cheapest location is. Because my dad's schedule is pretty flexible. I normally stay with him whenever I go to the area. And yeah, so I can kind of just do it whenever. In most situations. I still like to double check with him though in case he is busy on a given day. Never know. Also, I do have to say, I didn't think I would notice much of the difference between a 4K TV compared to a 1080p. It is definitely noticeable. Not even like a side-by-side comparison, just while watching it. It is definitely instantly noticeable that it is 4K. I didn't think I would care too much, but it is definitely instantly noticeable comparatively. If you're just so used to 1080p the whole time. So we'll take the green one there. Also, I'm really surprised how easy it was to set everything up. And the fact that I didn't accidentally break the router. Because I accidentally mixed up like every single chord because I was moving around like almost everything in the room. And I mismatched a couple chords. And I thought it would take me like a couple hours trying to figure out everything where it needs to go. And luckily it took like maybe 15 minutes to redo the chords. My chord situation is still a bit messy, but not as messy as it was before. It's a bit more organized. I also finally got one of those power breaker things, whatever they're called. Basically, you know those outlets where you put a bunch of outlets into it, it has like a power surge protection kind of thing? Well, I got one that's also a battery backup. So now if electricity ever goes out, our stream should hopefully not go out, assuming it works as intended. Because now it has a, basically an internal battery, where it'll last for, I'm not sure how long. It really depends on the devices, but I would assume like at least a couple hours, if not longer. Probably several hours, but I'm not sure how quickly it consumes with multiple devices using it. So now if electricity goes off, as long as the internet doesn't go off, well, we'll still be up online. Which is good for those random outages. You'll be the first dislike of 2023 then. You only aim for 500 this weekend, thanks Pokemon. Yeah, they had that Charizard event thingy. I didn't really have much time to do it today. Though yesterday while I was doing it with Gems of War, I pretty much max stacked, like the Dragon Shards and a few other things. Like the EXP candy. Like, not exactly max stack, because I kept using it right before it hits max stack. But if I didn't use it, it would have been max stack. Like with every game. If there's a maximum cap to something, we're probably reaching it. Which is one thing I like about Gems of War. It doesn't, like, cap out every resource. A lot of free-to-play games tend to do that, and it's really annoying. Where they cap, like, your daily limit, or they cap, like, the total amount that you can end up accumulating. But, Gems of War doesn't really do that for most things. There's some daily limit ones. But, generally speaking, there isn't really, like, a resource that gets, like, hard capped. Like, every single thing in this menu, if I'm not mistaken, there is no limit to what number you can get up to. Like, literally none, unless I'm forgetting of a resource. But I'm pretty sure every single resource here does not have an upper limit. You can get literally as much as you wish to grind. While some of them have like a little bit of like a daily or weekly limit as far as how much you could accumulate. Like some of the stuff with dungeons and stuff like that. Particularly verses are one of the more noteworthy ones. But there's no upper limit. Like you keep stacking it forever. Anyways, and I enjoy that. Let's go get our gems. Someone was mentioning there are some gems, and they are very correct. There is 65 gems. Forgot how much the rare gave. It's 15. Yeah, there's 65 gems sitting here, so might as well grab it. Actually, let's run Magnesia. Why do I even have that team there? I always run Magnesia instead these days. An uninterruptible power supply, pretty much. I'm mostly just using it for the surge protection thing as normal, but it's always nice to have a little backup. It's not even like a backup generator, just like a little backup battery. That just serves both purposes. I already had a device doing the one thing, so I might as well have a device that does that one thing and an additional thing. It was on sale too. I think it was only like 50 or 60 bucks. Normally like 100 something. I got it like almost a month ago. I just didn't bother setting it up until today because I was waiting until I was setting up absolutely everything before I did. And today I did. Though I went to the bank today and then forgot it's Sunday. Which I haven't done for a very long time. That is not the first time I've ever done that. Though it is the very first time in a very long time that I've bothered doing that. Going to a bank and then forgetting, oh yeah, it's Sunday. They're not open. I just always assume like everything is open like every day of the week. And then it's like, oh yeah, they don't actually do things today, do they? Same as like government holidays and stuff. Those I normally remember. But I did forget that. Alright, there we go. Got our gems. I'm just gonna ignore the souls. Alright, let's see how our dungeon doors go. Boom. Oh, that didn't go well. Oh no, I didn't mean to trigger. No! Oh, we only got bless. What even was that order? Well, we instant trapped. Also, I need to go switch to a tankier option. I am definitely finding that out. Like, we need to get rid of Slayer. Let's go, Dragon Guard? Yeah, Dragon Guard. So, reason I'm clicking Dragon Guard. Dragon Guard's interesting. I actually used to run this for Explore 12, and then realized we didn't have to be as safe. But, Dragon Guard has an interesting property, where you still have triple damage burning. However, you start with Barrier at the start of fight, but more importantly, you have 40% score reduction. So in that combination, you can still damage pressure, but your survivability of not dying is way higher compared to Slayer. And that's actually exactly what we need right about now for doing dungeons. So it's one single fix, or one single switch, we're already good to go. So I'm switching from Slayer to Dragon Guard. Slayer is quicker, but Dragon Guard is a lot better at not dying. And we're at the point in these battles where this is actually perfectly fine for that. Where we're still getting pretty much full speed while making sure we don't die. Because as you can see, we are still not dead. And he'll die to that, boom. But yeah, I used to run it like this for Explore 12. But the problem with it in Explore 12 is it's quite a bit slower, because you have to go for 2-hit in order to kill. But in a mode like this, where the stats are starting to get even higher, it's a lot more consistent, so you don't end up losing out. Especially when they have Impervious like that. Like on a day like this. Where this entire fight right now is just a billion Imperviouses. How many reds? Yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah, it should be a match. Or almost. We'll just go for Zolgoth. The good old Zolgoth. Alright, Zolgoth's up. And you're dead. There we go. And of course it's Diamond Day, so make sure to grab the bundle. And of course we're still getting Dragonite, so I'll grab that too. Also, we're almost under 20,000 gems. You know what we need to do next week as well? We need to go open a bunch of Vault Keys. Because we're actually going to dip under 20,000 gems next week. For the first time in a very absurdly long time. Anyways, let's go run some Dust Devil. We already got all the crowns, so I can actually switch back to the other team now. Which is a standard Explore 1 team. You need some streamer luck for verse 1. Gosh, I have way more verse 1s than I ever know what to do with at this point. Verse 2 for the longest time was our lowest. Verse 4 was our original lowest. And it was verse 2 for the longest time. And as of yesterday, it is officially shifted to verse 3. However, I highly doubt verse 1 will ever be my lowest, as I believe it's currently up by like 30 or 40 something. Still got a ways to go. Oh, you got to level 18 today? Nice. Yeah, I'm still trying to get to level 20. Oh, you reached level 20? Tyrion? Nice. Yeah, we're getting there. It's pretty luck-based. Actually, what level are we at right now? 17? It's getting up there. We are at, 17. If we ever get to 20, I need to make a Teams video for how to do it at 20. Hopefully it won't happen while we're away. Because I'm not sure I'm going to be posting any videos while I'm away. Is it going to be a lot more convenient if I just don't this time? Due to my current laptop situation. It would only be for like a week or so. Which means we'll probably just miss one Monday video and one Friday video, and obviously no streams during time, though we never stream when we're away. If any developers are watching, we did have Kafka here the other week, which is actually funny because I need to still contact Kafka to tell her to give me more codes. I should make sure I do that tonight because she's normally around tonight. She said she was going to give us some special holiday ones. And we still haven't received them yet. You'll miss the videos. No worries, we'll still be covering stuff. Also, one thing I really want to cover before the end of this year, probably this week if I have the time, though we might be a little bit more focused on the XP grind, we'll see. But I do want to cover a mythic tier list. The only problem with that is getting all the assets. I'm not sure what the quickest way of even doing it is. I feel like the method I do for it's very slow. And I do it from scratch each time as well, because I don't want to miss any mythic. Because it's a lot easier to just get every mythic in the game as a file than it is to check a list of like 2/3 of the mythics in the game and then figure out what 1/3 is missing. It's way easier to just start from scratch and get every single one once again, rather than comparing two different lists. As the likelihood of missing one is very high in that situation. Oh, what were you mentioning, Tyrion? What was your most recent comment? You reached level 20 dungeon? Wait, what was your other comment then? Also, hello, Logic Slaver. Didn't already say hi. Welcome, welcome. Your turn. I don't see your other comment. Let's see. Oh, they're level 230? Interesting. What's Explorer's 12 level cap? Isn't that like 150? Oh, that's actually kind of high then. Let's see. Explorer 12? Yeah, it is 150. Interesting, so 230. No wonder why it feels quite a bit stronger than Explorer 12, because it is. I already know one team I want to mention. It's the one we're already using now. It's actually what I used to use for Explorer 12. But it'll actually be even more relevant for Dungeon 20. Which is just Dragon Guard Zul'Goth team. Same thing as the Slayer Zul'Goth team, but you use Dragon Guard. It's what I used to run for Explorer 12. But it would actually be meta for Dungeon 20. Whereas for Explorer 12, it's just too much slower than Slayer to bother using. Even though I did for some time. Hey, Tyrion, Isabel was mentioning you really want the dolphin I got in that other game. Isn't that your favorite Pokemon from the new generation? Also, I got a really funny screenshots of 2 of the big whale guy. Because I was doing a bunch of the water ones, so I wouldn't have to deal with the water ones. And mostly because I feel like those are more annoying to do than everything on land, similar to Legends Arceus in like every game. Water physics are just really weird in a lot of games, so I figured I'd try knocking out some of those. But yeah, I got 3 of them from one outbreak, and 2 of them on screen at the same time. It was really funny. Outbreaks are kind of broken. I haven't really done much shiny hunting in that game. Though honestly, it's starting to grow on me. I really hated it initially. But honestly, it's not that bad. I still hate how it's set up. Though I'm hating it less the more I do it. The poor Vault Weekends was toast because you're currently doing an art commission. Ooh, nice. I hope it goes well. I have a couple friends that do that for work. I feel like it's hard to make a career out of it, though. Because you're always needing, like, constant, like, cycling of clients. And sometimes there's just a lot of dry times when you're just not getting much. It's the only problem with a lot of work that's like that. Is you can only work so many hours towards it. And it's capped even more based on if you can even find people. Or people find you. Because I feel like what happens with a lot of people with it is like they'll start slow, they'll then get a lot of work, then get like either burnt out or run out of clientele. One or the other. Let's see, we'll take that one down. And there we go. Give Isabel the keys so she could stream for you? It is actually a funny thing that can be done with a YouTube channel. If you, like, really trusted someone. Because theoretically, we could have anyone stream to our channel. If they had the key thingy. And you don't even need to worry about it too much after the fact. Because you can reset your key at any point. So you could give it away to someone for like a couple days or a week. And then just reset it after just to make sure. Theoretically, I could even change it like as something was happening. Like change the key as a stream is occurring. If anyone was like truly exploiting it. Because it takes like 10 seconds to change the key. You just go into one menu, click on one button, and boom, it's changed. I wonder what would happen if I changed it while doing a stream. I'm pretty sure the stream would just go down. I'm not actually sure exactly how that would work. Your Genki's YouTube channel manager, nice. Isabel art. I've seen some of it. She hasn't showed me too many things though. But they look pretty good. We're getting a lot of verses. And honestly, we're still getting a good handful of ones we actually need. Also, did our 3s just overtake our 2s earlier? No, they didn't. They still got a little ways to go. We did find 2 today though. Because I think it was at 11 earlier, now we're at 13. Which means it's almost Palooza running time. Hey, how's the poll doing? Interesting, 51 to 200's winning. Actually, it's pretty much like a 3-way tie between everything that isn't 51 to 200. That's interesting. It's actually pretty evenly distributed. Has she done any Gems of War or Pokemon art? Actually, that's a pretty good question. Some people have done art for Gems of War before. None that made it into the game, but you know, fan art of the game. It doesn't have a surprisingly high amount, though. Some people have in the past. I do find it actually kind of weird how little there is comparatively. Because there's, gosh, like over 1,000 something troops now. I feel like Queen Mab got a lot of art. She was really popular for some amount of time. Back in a very old meta. Hello, Chris. Welcome, welcome. Hope all has been well. Chat was saying you should stream on our channel when we're gone. Yeah, I should know the date for that. Hopefully this Tuesday or Wednesday. Hopefully by Tuesday, because then I could mention it on the Guild War stream. First Guild War day of the week. Hopefully this Saturday or Sunday we'll be able to grind, assuming we win the previous Guild War day. We definitely gotta go on that grind. If we're gonna get level 1,800 by the end of the year. Gotta utilize those 100% XP bonuses. Because I think during that bonus, it will take about 2 hours per level. Which means in theory, we would have to do what then? Because then we'll probably be level 1,775. So we'd have to get 25 levels. Which means we'd have to grind for like 50 hours next week. Oh gosh. So it doesn't have to be all that week. It would definitely have to be at least like 40-ish hours. It's a lot of time. Oh, did we get skull bonus for next week? That's unfortunate. Though it is Kedar. So I guess that makes sense, is the kind of skull related kingdom. And the original one, because that's Skeleton and Keeper of Souls. While both still really good skull spammers, back in the day they were like some of the skull spammers. They're both still useful to this day. They're ones that haven't really fallen off. It's just a lot of better options have come into the game, but they're still good. Like what they do mechanically is still relevant in pretty much any meta, as long as skulls are still usable. So there hasn't really been a single meta ever in Gems of War where skulls were bad. They've just been different degrees of good. There have been some metas where casting is so bad that it wasn't usable. However, there's never been a single meta in Gems of War where skulls are unusable. Just varying degrees of good. And right now, they're pretty decent. They're not always the right option. But, like, you know, Explore 12, they're still one of the quickest ways to go about it. Though they are a bit slower and riskier for some things. Like Guild War, for example. Oh, catch you later, Clip Bomb. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good week. Keeper of Souls week, pretty much. He's going to be in Event Drop Table, too. Anyone's still looking for him. Do I have the stopwatch queued up? Oh, yeah, I don't have that open. I should probably do that. When we go head over to Palooza's, which we'll probably shift over to soon. Let me go open it. And it's going to tell me, do you want to update? And I'll be like, no. Oh, no. Should I click the update button? What's the worst that can happen? Program self-destructs. I will click the update button this time. Actually, honestly, during the start of a Vault weekend, I should just click the update button. Just so every single time during a Vault weekend, I don't have to click it. So, it wants to update. Blah, blah, blah. These things, other things, other things. Sure, I will click yes. Updating. Boom, it has been updated. There we go. Easy as that. Now it won't ask me a billion times no. I'm actually surprised how quick that update was, actually. It already updated. It's already there. Let's make sure it's working correct. Yep, seems to be. It is doing normal things. I was expecting that update to take a little longer than that. That update took like 3 seconds. I guess it didn't do much. But I think once we find one more verse 3, we'll go start heading back to Palooza. I'll also hand out a redeem code when we hit one more verse 3. And then start off our Palooza grinds. Which we'll have 4 in a row to go do then. And we'll see what we do from there. How many keys would that bring us to? I think we'd still be like 180 short. If we're actually going to go all the way to 5,000. I don't feel like we will. You know, we're moving towards that location. Though I do want to use almost like 1,000 keys this week. Who knows, maybe this is the week we finally do the open 1,000 vault key video. Or stream, I mean. It might finally be the week. Because I said I kind of wanted to do that before the end of the year. And I think this week is that week. Let's see. Are we doing a longer stream today? Yes, we're going to be going for a couple hours. Exactly how long is to be determined. I want to say like 2 to 3 hours. I'm not going all the way to reset or midnight, though. I'm definitely not awake enough to. Especially if we want the weekly video up in a timely manner. Oh, wait, Tyrion, what did you just say? Wait, what did you say? You said that above, and I can't see what it was. Oh, you got an outbreak for the dolphin? Nice. I'm not sure if that was what you were pointing towards. Oh, you said that above the other thing. Oh, wait, Tyrion. You might have to mess around, because that gets reset at midnight. There's a weird mechanic where when an event starts or ends, and the Charizard event just ended, that's 2 hours ago, it gets reset, but it also gets reset again at midnight, which means you have 3 hours. I think there's like a weird way you can time travel manipulate it, but in doing so you can also lose it. But yeah, you got like 3 hours to do it. Assuming you're on normal time right now. A 1000 Volky stream. It'll be a 1000 Volky opening stream. Which I believe is doable in one stream, right? Because let's say we lowered the difficulty so that we can one-shot it with Phoenicia every time. Phoenicia can one-shot it about every 30 seconds if we're looking at what the reward is. That is 2 per minute and 120 per hour. It's technically quicker than that if we don't care about looking at the reward every time, like, so intensively. Because then we can get closer to 3 per minute. But let's just say it's 2 per minute. That's 120 per hour. At 120 per hour, that would be, what does that come out to? That's like 8 hours? 9 hours? 8 to 9 hours? It'd be like an 8 to 9 hours stream where all we do is open 1000 Volkies. What's my favorite thing about the new Pokemon? That's a good question. There's a lot of decent things that all add up. Like, the initial, just, like, open world aspect. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with the game. But the things that are right, or, like, super right, like, they definitely nailed the whole open world kind of aspect. And for a Pokemon game, the storyline was actually pretty decent. It wasn't, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 level good, or, like, anything else like that, where it's, like, a game where you're literally playing it because of the storyline. But, you know, it's probably the best effort they put forward thus far. But I don't know, I really like the whole, like, battling training aspect, and one thing that they did really well in the most recent Pokemon game is quality of life for min-maxing Pokemon. It has never been easier to make a competitively viable Pokemon than it is in the current state of Scarlet and Violet. It is insanely quick, and you have access to absolutely everything you would ever need for it, without much time at all. Even before you finish your playthrough, which is really surprising, because normally you can't get most of those items until post-game. But even during your playthrough, you had access to most of them. And I'd probably say that's one of the better features. But that only really benefits people who really care about, like, actually battling. And I feel like a lot of people play Pokemon not to ever battle. Like, there's probably some people who have, like, 3,000 hours in Scarlet and Violet, the new Pokemon game, without ever touching a single Pokemon battle. Or, you know, a multiplayer Pokemon battle. Because it's not an aspect that every single person necessarily engages with. Unless you want to release eggs. Oh yeah, egg breeding is really weird because for whatever reason they didn't add the mass release feature that was in some of the past games. For whatever reason, every mainline game never has a mass release feature. Like Pokemon Let's Go did. Pokemon Legends Arceus did. Which was the most recent Pokemon game prior to this one. But for whatever reason they didn't add it in Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, I've been doing very minimal breeding. Mostly because I'm doing most of that when Pokemon Home comes out. While Pokemon Home doesn't have the quickest way to release Pokemon, it is way quicker than the method currently available in-game. Which is really weird, because they basically made the perfect release system in Legends Arceus, where not only do you get material for scrapping them, which they easily could have done because they already get material for killing them, so why not also for scrapping them? But, not only do you get material for it, but you also were able to do an entire box within, like, 10 seconds. Whereas in in Scarlet and Violet, it takes, like, I don't know, 5 minutes to release an entire box. Something absurd. Some amount of minutes way longer than it should. Like, it should be measured in seconds, not minutes. It's weird. So where on Earth is his first 3? There's one more. Somewhere's around there. A 5k Volkey marathon stream? No. I would never open 5,000 Volkeys all at once. Even just doing 1,000 is going to take, like, an all-day event. Who's the best starter in the most recent Pokemon game? For competitive or for completely just washing through the entire game? Because if your main goal is just to clear through the entire game as quickly as possible, I'd probably say it's Fuecoco, the fire one. Mostly because his final form has the best sweeping ability for a casual playthrough of the game. Or even a non-casual playthrough of the game. Like, it's just a really good ability for clearing the game. Though competitively, I'd probably say the cat is the best. Mostly because it has really, really good damage output. And a guaranteed critical ability once it's fully maxed. But Fuecoco is the best one for clearing the storyline. Which is lucky because that's the exact one we chose. Though I didn't really feel like I used them much during the storyline. Mostly because we were cheesing it in a really weird order. That made us use other strategies. Because I was fighting some things that were like double R level. Which you could actually do somewhat similar in Gems of War as well. All you have to do is just run a lot of barrier and insta-kill. Like the way that you fight things when you're like similarly statted compared to like completely outclassed is a lot different in or you know, in most games like you have to do it differently. Like the way you go about it when you're like doubled or triple over their stats, or you know, when they're like double or triple over you, it's quite a bit different than when they're similar. In Pokemon, that normally means like toxic spam and other stall or things that do % damage. In Gems of War, it normally means barrier and insta-kill spam. I don't think that scales based on their stats like Mang. Mang is really good for just clearing through the entire game. Since you can armor tier, gain all of their attack, or you know, gain all their armor torn as attack, and then just kind of sweep with skulls while gaining barrier on skull. I mean, gaining barrier on brown, I mean. On something like Titan Hero class or similar. Okay, I'm about to just start doing Paloozas if we don't get a verse 3 soon. We're going a little dry on them. We got 2 pretty quickly, and then they just decided to stop dropping. They're out there somewhere. The timer's getting ready. It wants to begin counting. After this next gnome, whatever it is, we're going to start doing a Palooza then. And I guess we'll hand it off to first Palooza then, since we didn't find a verse 3. Unless our next one is a verse 3. Could be. Gosh, where are all the gnomes? We have definitely hit the dry spot. They really love to clump up. What rewards would you get if you did competitive in Pokemon? Honestly, none. The payout is so bad in Scarlet and Violet for competitive. As far as like the in-game ladder. Like it was somewhat useful before because it gave battle points and stuff. The main reward I would want for it is there's a really special ribbon where if you get to Master Class and win with a Pokemon in Master Class, they get a special ribbon. It is known by the ribbon community to be one of the hardest ribbons to get because you actually have to be good at Pokemon. And I actually want it for most of my Pokemon. Because it's generally considered one of the hardest ribbons in all of Pokemon. And definitely the hardest of any modern ribbon in any of the games. As it requires you to not only get to Master Rank, but also win with the Pokemon on your team. You don't have to necessarily use them, but they have to be on your team of 6. Oh yeah, we didn't have a key count this weekend for Gems of War. The main reason being that, I don't know, I just didn't keep a key count. Actually, the main reason being, on Friday, I did some grinds and forgot to keep track of my initial number. And then it was like, we'll go swing it. Because I forgot to record my initial number. So whatever number we would have had would have been off. So I was like, at least won't even keep track this time. I was like, hello, Theo. Welcome, welcome. How have I been doing? Pretty good. Very busy day. But great to finally relax. Well, luckily my room is almost in order, though there's still quite a few things I need to go through. But that's an issue for later. Not today. It is starting to come to look together like an actual room. I wouldn't say my room's like a huge mess. But, I don't know. For what I'm used to, it's kind of messy. Like, you'll look at it and it's like, wait, that's perfectly clean. But no, it's still kind of all over the place. Biggest issue for a while was lack of storage, but finally fixed that. Alright, we finally got a gnome. Let's go ahead to do some paloozas already. It's finally time. Oh, tribute's ready. Perfect timing, too. So we won't get distracted by that. Okay, let's go run like an hour palooza now. As I believe we have 3 or 4 of them ready to go. Let me just make sure I set up the correct team, which is the 2x Ironhawk 1, because we're going to need the extra damage. And we'll hand out a redeem code after our first set here. Oh wait, I did the wrong team again. No! Well, that's why I did this. Make sure we go to the right team. That's the team I want. I keep forgetting, when you do it, when you change your team in that one menu, it doesn't save it. But I want to do it here, so it does end up saving it. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's go start Palooza. We're gonna take a sip of water, though, first. Need some hydration. Oh, Tyrion, that's pretty unlucky. I actually have not failed one yet, though I haven't seen too many to fail. Though I could have failed one by not seeing them, which I'm pretty sure I've already failed like 20 that way. Anyways, let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for games? That's not games. I am looking for games. I am looking for, oh gosh, that pity key, it's so close yet so far. So Forge, other, go down to our things. Yeah, we have 3 of them ready to go. Okay, let's go run them. Let's go run 3 Paloozas. It doesn't really matter where we do it. I just always like clicking on Center Mirage. When we're actually doing a Palooza, you could do it in literally any kingdom. The kingdom has absolutely 0 effect on the gnomes that you'll see. And since it's always going to be 4 gnomes every single time, it is actually completely irrelevant what kingdom we click on. I just always do it based on one of the kingdoms I'm already farming, just out of habit. Also because it's already set on Explore 1, and that does matter, that's set to Explore 1. But it doesn't matter what the actual kingdom is. Because while normally Center Mirage would matter because we want to make sure we have the 20 damage kill, as long as it's on Explore difficulty 1, the 4 gnomes that we see will be the same regardless of what location we're at. So it doesn't matter what kingdom we go to in that regard. So when we're farming verses it matters, but when we're doing a Palooza it doesn't matter. But I like doing them both in the same location just in case when I shift between the two I don't forget to accidentally change the kingdom. Because if we're doing a Palooza and something like, I don't know, like Zolkari, and then I forget, like, oh yeah, I need to go switch back to back to Center Mirage or something to go do the verse grinds. Whereas if you just do it in one location, then you don't need to worry about constantly shifting it. But after this Palooza, we'll hand out a code. We'll run another 2 Paloozas, and then we'll probably go grind another one. Or at least another few, or however many we can get. Depends how lucky or unlucky we get on verse 3. That's our main bottleneck now. The Charizard event was fun on the Pokemon. How many did you take down? Oh gosh, I have no clue. I think it was a few dozen. It was enough to get a max stack of large candy and dragon shards. So however many that is. Though that could be a pretty variable amount because I think it drops anywhere from like 10 to 30 dragon shards. And a variable amount of large candy. Though you'd hit dragon shards later. That means I would have probably taken out approximately 40 of them? 30? 40, 30, somewhere around there. They were pretty quick though. It was like 5 minutes per takedown. And it was pretty AFK, so I was doing it some the other day. I did most of it during yesterday, when I was farming for Vault Keys and Gems of War. Because it's possible to farm for Vault Keys and Gems of War while doing the event. So I was doing both simultaneously. Because the Pokemon event was basically mash A. And the Gems of War event is basically mash all over your screen. Yeah, we'll stream it again next week. We'll probably do shiny hunting if we do another stream. Maybe try to shiny hunt all the things I want to get from the new generation that I still haven't yet. Because I would love to have a fully competitive team that's all shiny that we can go get master rank with. Most of that master rank grind I might be doing off stream though. Or maybe the final battle we'll do on stream, though that probably won't be till next week. You still need to get quite a bit better at the format. Because Pokemon plays kind of weirdly. The new format hasn't even been out for a whole week yet. Still a rather new meta. With everyone running every crazy strategy. On October 23rd, we had a 4,642. Would that have been the last number we could have checked? Might be. Though we would have gotten some small amount of keys in between then. But probably not too many. That means we've only done like 300s this weekend probably. By the ends. Like 200 something, 300. Which honestly, when we're not going on a super grind, that probably is our average. Like the 200 to 300 range. And based on the poll, that seems to be pretty correct as well. Actually, 51 to 200 is winning currently. I think that's the second highest is the range that we're in right now. Yep, it's the second highest. Yeah, most of the other keys probably only made up about a dozen in that time, maybe even less. But we did open, I think, some in between that time, though not that many. I think it's like a small handful, like a few of them. These are the weekly where we had to open one, plus I think we just opened like 10 of them at one point. And sometime this week we'll go open 1,000 of them. On a day that we have the extra EXP bonus, because honestly, that's not particularly slow EXP. If we're just instantly one-shotting something with Phoenicia, that's not as slow as clicking one button on Dust Devil. However, it is decently good EXP still. It's not like Ironhawk Dust Devil level EXP, but it is very quick EXP. Yeah, counting pity too. We're at like what, almost 40 pity now, or 30 something, whatever was that. Because yeah, I almost did forget about pity. Up some gem keys, and they're always great to see. Unfortunately, only a singular one, because even if he drops the 4-drop, it'll get reduced all the way down to 1 due to the diminishing return of this mode. Which is unfortunate, but a gem key's a gem key. Yep, that's not what we wanted. So what our epic Volkey number has been then? Because our epic Volkey number, if we already know it based on the other number, we could actually determine the exact number based on that. Because I know for sure we did not get any epic Volkey since end of October. Because normally you only get them while running Paloozas, or during Vault events in general. Like, they are possible to get them when it's not a Vault event, and we have before. Though the rarity of it occurring is exceedingly rare when it's not a Vault event. Possible, but exceedingly unlikely. Actually, so much so that there was a couple-month period when Epic Volkey first came out that we actually didn't even have it. Because even during Vault events, we were getting unlucky. You have to keep in mind, this was back when Vault events gave like 20, 30 keys. Like, you would grind forever and maybe get like 20 keys. Where the average week we did, like, if we grinded as much as we did this week, we would have had like 12 keys in the old format. Of course, it's the 1 in 10 chance, but we got like absurdly unlucky. Or after like 3 Vault events, we still didn't have it or something. It took forever. Nowadays, it's really easy to get Epic Vault keys. At least comparatively. Like, it's still a rare key, obviously, but nowhere near as rare as it used to be. Hello, Lester! Welcome, welcome. Today you had 4 verse difference. And yes, now it's 2 is your lowest. Nice. It's always weird when it shifts all over the place. And maybe our 1 will finally go all the way down. I wonder if anyone has ever had all 4 numbers be the same. In double digits. Or, yeah, double digits. Because obviously they've all been the same at like 0, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. But I wonder if anyone's ever had like 10 of each at the same number. Or like 20 of each at the same number, something similar. Something in a double digit range. Because that'd be hard to do. To get like that evenly perfect luck. $97? Gosh, you almost have 100 of a single verse. I feel like we have, like, none compared to some people. There's some people with still reserves in the hundreds. And here we are, like, holding on to our 10s. So I think we had as high as, like, 50-something of each. Of course, we have since used many of them. Also, why not a code after this Palooza, by the way? In 3 minutes from now. I'll run another 2 Paloozas and keep grinding. You fought the $5 red for your first Palooza? Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like almost no one really bought them because I don't think they even sell them anymore during Vault events, do they? Like actual Palooza scrolls. They give so few too for like how much money they cost. It's weird because they're like so cheap when they're available for gems through your daily 3 offers. Yeah, when they sell it for money, it's like, but I think they were as high as like some of the lower ones, or you know, some of like the other numbered ones. I think we're like almost like 20 bucks for one. Like something absurd. Whereas you can find them as an offer for like 50 gems. Or 100 gems, whatever it was. Wasn't it 50? 50 sounds like it's too low, but gosh. I'm pretty sure it is actually 50. I'm not sure why they made Palooza scrolls like so low. Compared to how much value is actually in them. Because when I was predicting the cost, I was saying like, oh, it'll be somewhere in like the 100 to 300 range per thing. And then when they released them, they were only 50 each. Or 200 per Palooza, essentially. Which is absurdly low when you compare it to how much loot you actually get from it. It's one of the few things I feel like is almost underpriced, so that's fine. Like, you compare it to, like, every other similar thing in the game. It's, like, absurdly dirt cheap. Unfortunately, they don't show up too often. But when they do, I click on them every time, even if I don't need the verse. Because you never know, you might eventually need it. I've had 3 numbers shift already. Only one of them hasn't, and it might at some point. I think we can get 3 more runs in this Palooza. If I ever stop going through the 4 animations at the start of every fight. Which unfortunately there's no way to turn that off. I don't think we can sneak one more in after this, unfortunately. Like, one more after this we can, but you know, one more after that one more I meant. Like, one more after this one we definitely can't sneak in. Because we're already at timer. Alright, there we go. Wait a few extra seconds just in case. And there we go. What do we get? Ooh, 20 gems! Good thing we waited. Because that would have been like 2 gems? 3 gems otherwise? There we go. Repair our stack ever so slightly. Oh yeah, we got 28 pity at the moment. Let's see, what are our keys actually at? So, Bill just posted our epic vault key from earlier. That means we found 11 epic vault keys then. And our vault key number is at about 200 then, counting pity. Alright, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Anyways, let's go hand out a code. And then let's go run another 2 Paloozas. And then we'll go grind for a few more Palooza if we can. Or at least 1 more if we can. Let's see. Depends how lucky or unlucky we get on verse 3. Oh yeah, I don't have the code section open. 1 second. So I'm really glad after I like redone all my wiring in this room. Not like the walls wiring, but you know how everything is wired to everything. That nothing actually broke. Because I was expecting something to like not work. And I was very surprised by how much everything worked. But there you guys go. There's the redeem code used on gemswar.com for the game code section. Your invite code we found in your settings menu. Redeem code right over there in chat. Cut paste random numbers in there. Server ND. And give same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. And draw everyone. There you guys go. And of course, the mythic's still on drop table, by the way, if you want to go use the key for that. It's a pretty average mythic, but hey, it's still a mythic, new mythic nonetheless. Anyways, let's go around another 2 Paloozas, and then we'll go grind for, see if we can get more. Last little bit of our grind for the weekend. Get it in while we can. Because this event's still going on for another 5 hours. Will we be grinding that whole 5 hours? No. We'll be grinding some of it. But we could if you wanted to. As Bill mentioned, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. And if anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, also let me know. And tomorrow, hopefully by noon, we'll have the, probably a bit earlier than that, we'll have the weekly video up. Aside from that, we'll have our normal stream tomorrow night, of course, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour prior to now tomorrow. We're not ending the stream right now, but I'm just going through the whole spiel. So yeah, we'll be doing that. Mostly Chapter 4 tasks. I don't think we have too much else. Maybe some Guild War prep. Probably like Chapter 4 tasks, do World Event, and then some Guild War prep. As we do have Guild War next week, and I really want to make sure we win, as I do plan on doing a lot of EXP grinding next week, and the more days we win, the more days we have 100% EXP bonus, which means more days we could grind on. I will also determine what day will probably be our 1000 vault key opening, as we would have to have won the prior day for me to do it the following day. So that day is still to be determined, but is realistically to be Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Which day, I do not know. I guess it's also dependent on us having won the previous Guild War day. Ideally, I want to do it on Saturday and Sunday. My only concern with scheduling it for Saturday and Sunday is what if we lose on both Friday and Saturday? Because that is a possibility. It depends. Did we move down as a bracket? Because if we're still in bracket like 4 or something, our winning is going to be not as good. But if we're in like bracket 5, or even if we dipped to bracket 6, which I don't think we did, but I don't know, then we'd have a better time. Hopefully we'll bracket 5. Because bracket 5 is actually surprisingly easier than bracket 4 for whatever reason. Like, you wouldn't think a single bracket change that high up would make that big a difference. It definitely does. It makes a surprisingly high amount of difference. I think the biggest difference is the difference between bracket 1 and 2. But bracket 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 have a pretty huge difference as well. Though 2 and 3 I feel like are somewhat similar. At least from what I remember from bracket 2 and 3. The actual guild being at 2 and 3 hasn't happened for a couple years now, actually. Because we've kind of just been floating around the 4 to 6 area for the last few years. Because we were the first guild ever to win Guild War, as in first place bracket 1 Guild War. Way back in the day, when Guild War first started. And for several months after, we were still in like the top of bracket 1 and other similar things. But then we eventually just kind of went down a little. And just been chilling in bracket 4 to 6 lately. Yeah, that's one thing I got again as well when I went out today. I did actually go to Domino's. Because I am like addicted to their cheese dip thing. That 5 cheese dip, the new item that they have. I am such a sucker for dips. And gosh, is it actually kind of decent. Honestly, with how average their pizza is, I actually prefer the dip more than their pizza. Which is kind of sad. Because their pizza is so average that their dip actually tastes good. Comparatively. Because it's definitely an above average dip in a very average pizza. So it makes the dip seem better, even more so, from how average the pizza is. Did I have a sandwich for dinner? No, I had Domino's. I do still have a little bit of lunch meat in the house, though. So I need to go pick up pretzel buns. Been having a lot of pretzel buns lately. Instead of just like normal bread. It just makes sandwiches more fun. Like, I still have normal bread on occasion. But I don't know, pretzel buns just make everything better. It's cheese dip with what? Oh, basically what Domino's item is. It's like garlic knots with cheese dip. Though I don't feel like they give enough garlic knots relative to the amount of cheese dip. Because you have to like smother the garlic knots in cheese in order to have a good ratio of actually completing it all out without running out of garlic knots. Which honestly is a pretty good because it tastes so good with that much smothered on it. For whatever reason though, they definitely don't keep the container like the garlic bread that's in it needs to be wrapped better or something. Because that container always at the bottom is like stained and almost like dripping. Because of how garlicky the garlic bread is. It's something they need to figure out how to fix. Like they need either more lining or like almost put them in like a bag or something or wrap them better or something. Because there has not been a single time I ordered it. Like the first time I ever ordered it, I was like, oh wait, is the cheese leaking? And then I look at it, it's like, no, that's actually pretty good how they have it set up. It's not leaking. But what it was with leaking was all the excess garlic from the garlic bread. Or the garlic knots, whatever you'd call them. It wasn't like leaking, but you know. Like if you look at the bottom of the container, like, of the box, it was obviously like stained from the garlic. But it wasn't like dripping leaking. You tried using pretzel buns for your burgers yesterday? It was great. Yeah, it's amazing. Pretzel buns are really good. The thinner ones work great for sandwiches, and the thicker ones work great for burgers. It's like such an easy way to just improve a sandwich. With very minimal effort. Unless you're making them from scratch yourself. But generally it's just easier to get them. Yeah, Lester. Please let me cast. Misclick like 5 times in a row. Eventually we'll click correctly. And now you want garlic nuts. Oh no, it's not necessarily the garlic knots being good that makes it. It's more so the cheese dip that they have. Because I wouldn't just get garlic knots from them with like a marinara. That wouldn't quite do it. It's mostly the dip that's actually insane. At least for a fast food place anyways. Because obviously something like the Melting Pot or something similar, like obviously has a better cheese dip. But for a fast food place, honestly, it's not that bad. Oh, yeah, an Epic Valky, nice. Yeah, artichoke dip is definitely best dip. I should eventually get around to just making my own. We do have a thing at the house for doing it. I just feel like the process isn't worth the trouble and then having to clean it after and everything. Because it's really annoying to clean, just clean up after something like that. And then after you get all the ingredients and everything, it's generally just better to buy it rather than go through all the hassle. Don't say choke or Taz's bondage side will come out. No, I would never choke someone. I don't understand why people are into it. I feel like it's way too risky of an activity to ever do on someone. Because if you do it wrong, you literally kill them. Like, the cost to benefit ratio does not work. A pizza place by you has a really good artichoke. Wait, there's a pizza place by you that has an artichoke dip? That's interesting. I don't know of any place that isn't Melting Pot near me that has an artichoke dip. That is worth actually getting. Like, that's definitely like the best dip ever. I've yet to see any dip prove otherwise. You think you're done for the Vault event? I'm slowly getting to that point. I think we're still going for a little bit more, though. My biggest issue with most Vault events these days is our loot stacks feel so high. Well, I guess other than our diminishing gems, but that'll be high too once we use our Vault keys. But I feel like our loot stacks are starting to get so high that there's a bit less of an incentive to grind them. Because we've had super broken Vault events for about 1.5 years now. And gosh, in that 1.5 years have we been able to get a lot of loot, particularly the first year. To a degree where it's not as encouraging to do a Vault event. Just because Paloozas have been so broken that you reach a point where you've grinded it enough that you don't really necessarily need more. Like, you still could, because why not? But there definitely becomes a diminishing incentive on Vault events. For the first several Vault events you ever do, as of Paloozas, which are just all Vault events now, like, the loot is absolutely insane. But as you accumulate more and more of that really insane loot, it has less of an impact on your loot stack. And there we go, 2,000 glory. And some souls, some ingots. Actually, we almost got more glory than we got things there. Oh, we finally hit over 17 million souls as well. And over 5 million glory, gosh. Speaking about a lot of loot. Oh, and there's the redeem code from earlier. Definitely make sure to use it. And if you want to still go for the gem key on the new mythic, it is still available for the next couple days. all the way until Friday reset, end of Thursday. What's the flash offer they had this weekend? It was a Orb of Ascension, 1 Epic Vault Key, and 450 gems for $15. AKA not worth it. Anyways, okay, let's go run into that Palooza. We have enough, right? I think we're at 11 right now. If I could click on the right tab. Yeah, let's go run another. Let's run it back. Another Palooza. And that'll be our last one from our reserve. Until we're down to 10. Which I like to not go under if we can help it. Lies, you need more. Never enough. Yeah, I don't feel like there's that many delis near where I live. In New Jersey, there was a lot of delis by me. But in my current area, there's not really that many delis. It's really weird because there's so many places to eat. It's so few good places to eat in my area. Like, you will not have any lack of a billion places around you to eat at. But the quality of them is decently low. Like, there's a lot of horrible places to eat around here. Like, if you just randomly chose a completely, like, at random place, just based on, like, an RNG system, like, I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 places to eat around here would be bad. Or definitely at least 4 and 5. If not 9 and 10. Because if you walk 1 mile in this area, you've probably passed 1,000 places to eat. Or pretty close to it. Hey, congrats, Steria. Nice. Finally got it. The question is, what ball did you catch it in, though? Because there is a wrong answer. Do you have an idea when Rope Dart will recycle back? Whenever we have a Pride Lands event again. And when next Pride Land event is, I have no clue, nor can I check because we're in the middle of Palooza. But whenever next Pride Lands event is, I believe probably midway through next year, probably summer of next year. Because I believe we had one like, what, 4 months ago? So probably around summer next year, you'll probably be able to get Rope Dart again. But yeah, it's whenever Pride Lands is another event. Just not sure when that next event is. And generally it takes each kingdom, generally each kingdom only rotates like once per year. How many kingdoms are these days? Obviously, quite a few of them will get 2 per year. But if one happened recently, there's a good chance it's not going to happen quite that recently again. Or, you know, it will take a little while before it cycles back again. I'm pretty sure it was like, what, 3 or 4 months ago last Pride Lands? I do wish there was a better way to target weapons. Especially the Tuesday weapons, because there's literally a whole category of weapons like Life and Death this week that's available on Tuesday this week, where it's only available one Tuesday, like out of an entire year, pretty much. Because not only is it on a specific kingdom week, but it's only on a specific Tuesday on a specific kingdom week. Meaning not only is it only available, like some weapons only available like for an entire week duration out of an entire year, but there's a whole category of weapon that will generally only cycle one single Tuesday out of an entire year. Luckily, most of those weapons aren't too good, but there are a few like Life and Death that was available earlier this week that are. Alright, no problem. Yeah, whenever there's better stuff, I generally try to mention it as much as I can, particularly in the Monday video. Which reminds me, is there anything good next week? We got a Kedar event. I don't believe Kedar gets anything good. Though, one thing to keep in mind is I believe one of the 3 weapons of Nefertani, I believe, are available next week. Because isn't that a Kedar weapon, one of them? It's one of the 3 weapons required to craft Dustbringer. Dustbringer is a very situational weapon. But I do advise getting the 3 components, even if you don't plan on getting the weapon anytime soon. Just because it takes, like as I just mentioned, about a year for those 3 components to cycle around. So you generally want to have those 3 components beforehand, before you ever even think about getting Dustbringer. That way when you do plan on getting Dustbringer, you already have the 3 things and you don't have to wait necessarily a year to go and craft it. Whereas you could just craft it whenever you finally have the resources to. Because if you're missing one of the Nefertani weapons, you have to... The moment you want to do Dustbringer, you have to wait all the way until you get the final Nefertani weapon. And then you can craft it. Whereas if you already have the 3 Nefertani weapons, you can just craft it whenever you finally feel like you want Dustbringer. And I believe one of them is associated to Kedar. Actually, I forgot what 3 kingdoms have them, but I'm pretty sure Kedar is one of them. Catching up on weapons has been consuming a ton of your diamonds. Yeah, it might not seem like much, because most of them are only like a couple hundred at a time. But you can burn through diamonds pretty quick by crafting weapons. Like, if you start adding it up with how many weapons there are in the game, every single new shop cycle, if you're missing most of them, is pretty much like an entire mythic's worth of diamonds just to craft all the weapons for a week. Sometimes even more if it has like 2 Doom weapons or something similar. It depends on what you're missing compared to what's left. Another epic Valky, great to see. I notice our last Palooza of our reserves. I need to grind another. I'm not sure how many more we're going to be going for this stream, but I want to go for at least one more. It really just comes down to how long is it going to take us to find a verse 3. Because that could be anywhere from like 3 minutes to 3 hours. You have to skip them useless Doom weapons mostly. Yeah, generally, Doom weapons are a category of weapon that are potentially worth skipping if it's the bad ones. You do want to make sure you get the good ones, though. Like the books, the ones that hit full AoE damage into the Doom Skull Convert, stuff like that. Maybe even the hammers, potentially. But a lot of those other ones are pretty skippable. Because the main reason you tend to be getting them is because you want them for kingdom upgrades, which means you have to max out the weapon. And a lot of those you're pretty much never going to max. I still have only ever bothered maxing 2 sets. The full AoE weapons and the books. If I was to do a third in the current state of the game, I'd probably do the hammers. However, I've been holding off in case the category after daggers are good. Dagger category of Doom weapons are unfortunately really bad. However, I'm hoping we might get a good category afterwards, since the daggers were so bad. We'll have to see. I believe we still have 1 or 2 more daggers to cycle through until we start getting into a new category of Doom weapons. Whatever those may be. Hopefully it'll be good. Because we haven't had a good category of Doom weapon in quite a while. And with how they cycle, it takes like, what, a year? Before we get another set of Doom weapons these days? Even more than a year? Because we get one every 11 weeks. How many weeks are in a year again? Exactly, yeah, that's longer than what a year even is, isn't it? Because it takes 66 weeks to cycle through, technically 77, depending on how you look at it. But it takes 66 weeks to go through all of them, and then 77 to finally cycle through another one. Which is more than a year. Before a new Doom weapon set comes into the game. Yeah, 52 weeks in a year, so it's almost like a year and a half, if you count it as 77 weeks. Because 66 weeks is how long it takes to cycle through the 6 weapons, but then you still need another 11-week cycle until you get to the new weapon. So yeah, theoretically it is 77 weeks between Doom weapon cycles. With that 77th week being the new weapon. How do we get to the devs to replace every second Guild War with a Tower of Doom? Oh, that would never happen. That would be funny. They did mention a while back, when they first added campaigns, that they were considering adding a way to make a Doom event like midway through a campaign. To this day, they still have not, and we're on like what, the 11th, 12th campaign now? 12th campaign. We are 12 campaigns in, and they still have not done such a mechanic. Which is like, what, a little over 2 years now? And they still have not added a like, mid-season Tower of Doom. Because they said they were considering that, like, on the 5th or 6th week or so. Or something like the 5th week. Where they would add a Tower of Doom. And then still have one at the 11th week. But now we only have the 11th week one. That happens in between each season. Are you still studying the video game development? Oh yeah, I'm still looking into that. Still looking into it. No, it would not be rated 18 plus. It would likely be some kind of strategy game. Turn-based strategy. Exact structures to be determined. Biggest two issues is coding something that you would actually want to do. And finding assets for it. Also, still making it unique enough that it actually can stand on its own. Because, well, it's good practice to make something that already exists, or, you know, mechanic-wise. You know, to actually, like, sell something, it would need to be rather unique. But for practice, making something generic works pretty well. It's just, you can't really sell something that's generic. Not without an advertising budget. Of which we'd have, like, none. Oh, so did we just get all trait stones for that one? That's pretty sad. Which is actually something I'm kind of surprised by. Gems of War has never really had advertisement for it. I'm not sure why they never have. It seems like a game that's pretty advertisable. Especially how many consistent years it's been going. Oh, Isabel, that's funny. Alright, a few more sets here. And then this Palooza shall be done. Oh, we're still gonna keep grinding some. I still want to do at least one more. Problem is finding it. This will be our last kill here, as there's no way we're going to be able to get more. Do you think Gems of War is new player friendly? Yes. I do actually believe Gems of War is pretty new player friendly. I still feel like to this day, and pretty much Gems of War's entire history, where an account can pretty much catch up within a year, I would say, in this game. And a year might seem like a lot of time, but it's also a game that's played very slowly over time. It's not meant to be one where you just like power grind it all at once. Well, other than Vault events. But ignoring Vault events, it's not really a game that you could just like power grind all at once. With the exception of Vault event weekends for those 3-day durations. But yeah, I do believe you can catch up pretty easily. Mostly due to how the key system works. Because you're evenly distributing across the entire drop table. So aside from mythics, weapons, and pets, you catch up on most everything very quickly. Just between running some Paloozas and just playing the game through its natural cycles. How many Paloozas are we up to now? This weekend? I want to say 7? I want to say 7. I have actually not kept track of the exact number. How many keys are we at? We are up to 4,802. If you count pity, that is still short. We're definitely not making it. But we got close. I mean, if we did one more Palooza, we're gonna be like 140 short. Let's go find one more Palooza then. How long will that take? Who knows? Could be a few minutes, could be a few hours. So hopefully not a few hours, but we'll see how long it goes. Realistically, I feel like this will take like half an hour to an hour. That depends how it wants to drop. There's really no way to know in advance. Oh, so we're slowly starting to get close to that other level. Not quite there, but we're getting there. Also, I know I just had a sniffly nose, but for whatever reason that just reminded me, I haven't been feeling as sick. I slightly was for like a couple days earlier, but now I don't feel it anymore, so that's good. I'm not really sure what it was. It was just like a couple days of just kind of feeling not as good. It might come back though, it is that kind of season. It is that time of the year. Oh, that reminds me. Don't planes still require masks? I know a lot of places haven't been lately. I'm pretty sure planes still do. And even if they don't, I think I'm still gonna wear one. I just feel like for the rest of time I will wear masks on planes. Ever since I got like really sick that one flight, before the pandemic even happened, I kind of just feel like I should like every single time now. You've been under the weather last week too? Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. There's something going around. It's that time of year. When you get 3, were you spawning infinite citizens? No. The thing that I got 3 of was the, oh gosh, what is it called? The big, gigantic whale fish thingy. I believe it becomes with a D, Donzozo or something? Can't remember his name, he's one of the new ones. But I had 2 on screen at once and 3 within half an hour. And he's actually really meta too. So he's actually a pretty good pickup. He's only usable in doubles though. Well, actually, you could use him in singles. Though the way you use him in singles is quite a bit different. Which is a good thing I have 3, because that means I could build 1 for singles and 1 for doubles and then still have a spare that I could build for whatever. Oh no, I do have 1 of the dolphins. That wasn't the one I got 3 of though. It was the other fish. They added a lot of fish. Yeah, maybe they don't anymore. I know the last time I took a trip they did, but that was like a year and a half ago at this point. I feel like I'll still always wear mask on flights though. I haven't been around like town and stuff like that. Like today when I was going around a bit, I didn't. But I feel like I still would for a flight. I'll just like forever for the rest of time wear a mask on a flight. Come on, where's our verse 3? Masks are optional in most airlines now? Okay, interesting. I'll still be wearing one. It's like one of the last few locations I would still wear a mask. Come on, where's our verse 3? Out there somewheres. I kind of want to keep going until we get it. I'm just concerned that it might take 2 hours. Oh wait, that's it right there. Hold up, we just got it. Wait, we got it. It threw me off for a second because I thought that was verse 4. But there we go. Okay, let's go run to Palooza. Oh wait, before we do, let me make sure I set the right team. Because I'm using the wrong team right now. That one. Ah, there we go. Wow, that was convenient. It might take 2 hours, 2 seconds later. Let's go run our Palooza. This might be the last one we do tonight. We'll see. But I am leaning towards this being the last one. As much as I do want to grind a little bit more. I think this will be our last run. Let's see so we can get the Monday video up at a timely manner. Because you definitely had a couple of them go out pretty late. Somewhat recently. Not in the last couple of weeks, but, you know, prior to that. You're able to upgrade your Soul Forge 2 times this weekend? Nice. Yeah, you can get a lot of curse runes. Also, if you're really in need for curse runes, if you find a curse gnome near the end of a Palooza, you can just wait out the timer. If you have a timer up. Because you get the full amount of loot when it ends. So if you find like a curse gnome at the, like 12, 13, 14 minute mark, you just wait out the last couple minutes and get the full amount of loot from it. Otherwise, it's only going to give you 1 or 2 shards. But waiting out the whole timer, it'll give you 10 to 15. It's only worth doing like right at the end of a thing, of course. Doing it too early, you're just wasting too much loot. Like, we found a curse gnome right now, it definitely would not be worth waiting on. Because the whole Palooza would pretty much be wasted. But when you find it at the end, it can be worthwhile. Especially if you're still in a need for quite a bit of curse runes. As this is a resource that's accumulated a little bit slowly. They do have a way to buy it in the dungeon shop now for gems, which is something that didn't used to exist, but does now. But, as normally it's better to farm it. Because it saves a lot more gems that way. There's also a resource that has quite a bit of diminishing return. Where once you have enough of it, you tend to not really need it. So getting it up slowly over time tends to be better. Rather than rushing it down with gems. Especially with how many things there are to spend gems on these days. That is one thing I feel like is a little bit complicated for newer players. And maybe we should make an updated video on. Because there's just so many things to spend gems on. And the way that we spend gems is not how a newer player would spend gems. Because there's a completely different set of priorities. Because we don't need gems for almost anything these days. So we spend them in a way different way than a new player, mid-game player would kind of spend gems. Hey, curse gnome. Surrounded by soul gnomes. But if anyone else has any other questions, anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Because I think this will be the last thing we go for the Vault event this weekend. Finish up this Palooza, and I think we might call it a wrap. But overall, I'm happy with how much grind we did. We didn't reach 5,000. But we put in a nice, like, 200 to 300 effort. Which, based on our poll, seems to be where most people fell. I think it says 51 to 200, but still. Putting into consideration the other percents. Oh, so that's not counting Epic Volkeys too, so actually we probably are a bit closer to 300 something. That's at the average. Well, technically slightly above average if we compare it exactly to the poll. Though not by much. Though I feel like whatever our polls are already skewed upwards compared to what would actually be average for the game. Because generally anyone who's watching a stream of a game is probably active enough in that game that they're already slightly above average compared to the player base of a game. If they're actively looking for more content on a given game. On top of playing the game. It's the same issue that the Gems of War forum has. Because most people on the Gems of War forum, where there are exceptions, are some of the most active people in the entire game. So anything is kind of skewed over there. Because just naturally, by the process of what it is, it has generally more active people on it compared to, you know, the average player, if you just randomly picked one from the game. Yeah, I did the 50 gem thing today. We did it as soon as we finished dungeons. Yes, I did not forget this time. We have forgot a couple times since the new format. So this week was not one of them. Did I check the guild event if it's done? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, I didn't check it. We'll take that all the way at the end. Thanks for reminding me. It does auto-claim if we don't take it, which is nice. I hate games that don't have auto-claim for that. It's very annoying. Actually, one game that I still poke at that has a not auto-claim for, which is super annoying, is Pokemon Unite. They don't have an auto-claimer for it, which is unfortunate. But luckily Gems of War does. So if I was to actually forget to claim it, and Monday rolls over, which means the event has ended, you don't miss out on a loot. Simply just gets mailed to your box, which is very convenient. So you never actually miss any unclaimed loot. Which I don't think there's a single thing that you can miss, because your seals auto-claim. Every event that has like a system, progression system auto-claims. Trying to think if there's any that you would miss. I can't remember if Kingdom Passes and the other thing auto-claim. I want to say yes. I always claim them, so I'm actually not sure. I assume they would, based on how many things auto-claim already in this game. I think the only thing that technically wouldn't is, oddly enough, that one new system that they had, like that they did for October and that they're for Halloween, that they're about to do for Christmas. That event, if you don't spend your resources, you're just going to miss out on them. So technically that one doesn't auto-claim. But the reason it doesn't auto-claim is because you have to actually choose what your loot's going to be. So it can't really auto-claim it for you because you didn't actually choose what your loot was. But if you don't use that material by the end of the event, it will be lost. So that's technically one thing in Gems of War that's new that actually isn't auto-claim. But it's mostly because it's impossible to make an auto-claim out of it, since you have to choose what your reward actually is, rather than it being predetermined. Whereas it's a lot easier to give out predetermined loot. There also used to be a glitch with that too, where if you didn't claim your pets and another pet got activated, it would give you like a completely different pet for what your rewards would be. I believe that glitch has been fixed for a while now. But it was one glitch that pet events used to have, where if you finish out a pet event, forget to claim the rewards, and then another pet event occurs, your loot will be different than what the previous pet they actually did was. And if I'm not mistaken, it was actually different than the pet that you even got as the second pet. Like, it was just like a completely different pet. As if it like got shifted like several values or something. It's like wrong warping, but for your loot. Rather than your location in the game. You wrong warp your loot into something else by changing the value by several. Although that glitch, I'm pretty sure, has been fixed for almost a year now, if not longer. Unfortunately. Because one strategy that you could actually do with that is finish out a pet event for... Yeah, it basically got re-rolled to a random one, essentially. Or it got seeded based on a different value where it got moved by X amount of value. But whatever it was, the strategy was basically finish a pet event that you already have a max pet for, then wait till another pet event occurs, then check your mail and you'll have a completely different pet there. It might still be one that you don't need, but it would not be the one that you initially did. That does not work anymore, though. Or I don't believe it does. I haven't actually checked recently. I'm pretty sure by now they would have fixed it. That was quite a while ago glitch. So that reminds me, there's only one pet I'm missing now. And it's the most recent money pet. Which I believe is in drop table, though I cannot 100% confirm as I don't own it. Oh no, has anyone gotten that new Infernus pet? Does anyone who hasn't spent money gotten the Infernus pet? Because I haven't seen it yet, and it's actually the only pet in the entire game I'm missing right now. If it's not in drop table right now, it will be very soon. In the next like week or 2 or 3. That's the only pet we're missing in the entire game. As far as owning a copy of it. Like Cookie said, it's not yet in drop table? Okay. Yeah, I think they wait like 4 or 6 weeks before they bring the money one in. I believe the other ones are immediately in there, the non-money ones. But it does seem like they wait about 4 to 6 weeks before the money one grows in, which makes sense. If they're going to charge money for it, it gets like some short time of exclusivity. That's perfectly fine. Hopefully it'll be in drop table soon so we can go get it. Our final Palooza is almost done. And that will end our Vault event grind. Then we'll go grab our orb and call it a wrap. So any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow night, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow. All Chapter 4 tasks, do the World event, and maybe we'll do some Guild War prep, as it is Guild War week next week. And I definitely need to make sure we win those days, as the more days we do, the more days we can XP grinds. Theoretically, we can XP grind on any day, but having 100% extra XP definitely helps XP grind, that's for sure. There's definitely quite a bit of improvement compared to not getting 100% extra XP. Comparatively. Oh, we're not done yet. We'll be done in a couple minutes. I was just doing the whole thing preemptively. Am I playing Scarlet and Violet tonight? Probably a little bit, but not for long. Which I'm probably going to grab something to eat. Maybe some more of the leftover pizza. It's kind of weird doing most things in Scarlet and Violet near midnight. Because unless you're time traveling, you actually want to wait until slightly after midnight. Because otherwise everything that you're doing gets reset at midnight. Which is very problematic for most grinding with how it works in that game. Come on, get past the screen. I want more loot. Let me in. There we go. Gosh, that was so many menus. Let's see what we got here. Our final loot. Give it a few extra seconds. Anything good? Let's see. We got... Oh, gem key. And 1,000 glory. Not bad. Though the gem key would have been a gem key regardless if it waited or not. Alright, let's go grab the orb. Actually completely forgot about that, but thank you. Almost forgot to claim it, though it wouldn't have mattered too much. It would have been in our mail if we didn't, but there we go. Unfortunately, only a green orb. See, anything else I forgot to claim this week that will auto claim if I didn't? Like all these seals. Like if I forgot to claim that, we'd still get those seals, so it's not too big a deal. Though during the Guild War week, it is actually beneficial to do it all on Monday so that you just keep getting the seal wins every single day. Who knows, maybe we'll do that tomorrow night then. Make sure we get to 2,000 seals so we will get the extra seals every single day. It's not that much of a difference, but it's almost the equivalence of like, what, 2 or 3 gem keys or something. So it does start to add up over time. And we end up getting 33 pity, not a particularly high amount. But that brings our total vault key number to the following. 4,852. So did we reach 10,000? I mean 5,000? No. However, we got a bunch of keys. And I guess later, sometime next week, we're going to open 1,000 vault keys on one day. That will be a very long stream. What day that is still be determined. Probably next weekend. But we need to make sure we guarantee win the previous Guild War day. So that's still a predetermined day, as we don't know. Like if I say I'm going to do it on, let's say, Saturday, we don't know for sure because we still have to win on Friday for that to occur. On Saturday, because I want to do it on a day where, you know, the following day we have 100% XP bonus on the day that we actually do it. So that will kind of determine what day we do it on. So, but sometime next week we will do a stream where we open 1,000 vault keys, which we've done for quite a few other keys in the past, like some of the ones like way in the past, like, you know, when they first added like the gold keys, glory keys, stuff like that. When they game first launched, we did it for like iron keys, and I think even magic keys. No, I don't think we did it for magic keys because they're too hard to obtain. But we did it for like the other key, which was called like iron key or something at the time. But yeah, we'll do 1,000 vault keys. Obviously, up to this point, we've definitely opened way more than 1,000 vault keys, but never all in one sitting. So we'll be doing a stream for that sometime next week. Still be determined, though. I'm trying to aim for Saturday, most likely. However, it is very dependent on if we get an XP bonus from the previous day. Which is not something we will preemptively know until the day before, pretty much. And even then, probably not till the end of that day before. So until like Friday night's end of stream, we probably wouldn't even know. And even then, it could be close enough that it's hard to call. Hopefully, we'll be up against a really bad guild that day. Time will tell. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful week. Catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by as always. Greatly appreciated. Monday video will be up sometime in the next several hours, hopefully. And aside from that, we'll be back tomorrow night. Same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow, as we do every single night. Enjoy your week, everyone. Catch you guys later.